Hello everybody, welcome to this video, which is going to be about configuring switch access ports. I'm really sorry for the delay in with coming out with new videos. I do apologize for this, and I hope this won't happen in future. So without wasting any more time, let's start the lab. So yeah, we're going to be creating, configuring, examining, and deleting VLANs on a switch in this lab. So, firstly, let's just talk about what is actually a VLAN. So, a VLAN is a virtual LAN. That's what it stands for, virtual LAN. But what does that exactly does that mean? So, if we've got a switch and it's got 24 ports or 48 ports, and we have a business environment where we're using these. Well, sometimes we might be in a situation where we've got different. Well, generally you have different departments. So, for example, in a business, you have HR, you have sales, you have finance, you have different departments, marketing, for example, as well. So there's different departments, and we want to segment the traffic. That we want to separate the traffic so that sales traffic is separate from marketing traffic, separate from finance traffic, separate from traffic of other departments. So this is the point of using a VLAN. We basically are creating we are basically dividing our switch into multiple virtual switches, so to speak. So this is the more of a textbook sort of answer, but I hope that breaks down what actually a VLAN is. It's just a way for us to segment our traffic into separate so that they become separated, and then that can be used for segment traffic between departments, so that we this stops communication between departments that don't necessarily need to communicate with each other, and it basically is good for a security point of view. So textbook answer is VLAN is a network virtualization mechanism that enables for a layer 2 switch to function as multiple virtual switches. Now, traffic within one VLAN is isolated from traffic in all other VLANs. Now, VLANs are often used to segment traffic by function rather than by location. Now, question B is asking, based on the devices in this topology, which device should be placed into the same LAN? So we can see here we've got sales laptop, and then we've got HR laptop, and HR2 laptop, and sales 2 laptop. And there's two switches which are connected to each other. So if we go back to what I was talking about earlier with different departments, if we want our sales people to communicate with each other, they should be in the same VLAN. If the HR want to communicate with each other, the HR laptop should be in the same VLAN. So the ports being used by the sales computers should be in one VLAN, and the ports being used by HR computers should be in a separate VLAN. Okay, so you can have VLAN 1 for sales computers 1 and 2, and then an HR VLAN which will connect HR computers 1 and 2. Now, question 2 is, on switch 1, issue the commands necessary to create VLAN 10. At what point in the configuration is the VLAN actually created on the switch? So we need to issue the commands necessary to create VLAN 10. And then we need to think about when is the VLAN actually created on the switch. So let's go into switch 1. And what we can see here, is all what you need to do is go into global configuration mode, which we normally use conf2. Now, the lab software that I was using was a bit buggy, so it I think it didn't register the T, but it still took me into global configuration mode, so ignore that part there. But what we do is VLAN 10 and then end, and that takes us back into privileged exec mode. Now, so what we can do to verify if that VLAN has been created is here, show VLAN, and we can see VLAN 10 is there, but there's no ports assigned to that VLAN. This will take effect immediately. They normally take effect. They will take effect immediately once you hit that command. Now you enter show VLAN in privileged exec mode. You'll be able to see that VLAN 10 is there. Now, question 3: switch 1 on switch 1. Issue the command is necessary to determine the name assigned to VLAN 10. What is VLAN 10's current name? Well, we've already done that here. When you go into show VLAN, you can see the name of the VLAN, and it's just VLAN 0010, which is the default name that would be given to it. Now, you can change that to sales, for example, or HR, or marketing, or finance, or whatever department, or whatever you want to name it to. You can name it anything. You can name it anything you like. You can name it donuts, for example. So if you go into question 4, on switch 1, issue the commands necessary to change the name of VLAN 10 to sales. Now, what final command should you use from VLAN configuration mode so that change takes effect? Well, if we go into switch 1 now, and we go into global configuration mode, so configure terminal, and now we, in global configuration mode, type in VLAN 10 name sales. This is one way you can do it. There's another way, is very, very similar. Exit. Now go back into privileged exec mode, and we can see here now that name is now changed to sales, which is great. So now that actually reflects the department that is going to use that VLAN. Perfect. So that's one thing we can do here. Now, next, on switch 1, issue the commands necessary to create VLAN 20 with the name HR. Now, what alternative commands could you have used to could you have issued to perform the same task? Well, let's go into switch 1, and now let's configure VLAN 20. So configure. So we do conf t, go into global configuration mode, VLAN 20 name HR. That will take. That's what we can do. And now show VLAN, and I will look VLAN 20 HR being used by the HR department. That is now named HR as well. Perfect. So that's what we could do. There's another way you can do it as well. There is another way you can do it. So alternative way is just slicing the command VLAN 20 name HR into 2 halves. So you do VLAN 20 enter and then name HR. So you can do it that way as well. I'll show you here. So configure terminal and VLAN 20 enter name HR. There we go. So come out, going back to privileged exec mode, show VLAN. Here we can see. Perfect. So you've got that VLAN 20 named HR. Now you must exit VLAN configuration mode for the changes to take effect. So sorry, so I did say that they take effect immediately, but the condition is you exit VLAN configuration mode. So that's very important. So if you remember this question back here, I was asking what point in the configuration is the VLAN actually created on the switch. That is the answer, that you must exit VLAN configuration mode for the changes to take effect. Okay, so you come out, you go back into you can go into global configuration mode or privileged exec mode, but you just come out that VLAN configuration mode. Now, next question 6. On switch 1, issue the command to display the list of VLANs that have been configured on the switch. Do VLAN and VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 display the correct names? Well, here we go. Show VLAN. You can see, yes, they both have their new names that we've configured. Now, on switch 2, issue the commands necessary to create VLAN 10 with the name sales and VLAN 20 with the name HR. So, very similar. Well, it's pretty much the same thing we're doing now. So go up into global configuration mode. Now VLAN 10 name sales. Then we're in VLAN configuration mode. We need to come out of that for the change to take effect. Now configure terminal. VLAN 20 name HR. Great. There we go. Come out. There we go. Show VLAN. There we go. So both have their respective names now configured. Perfect. Next, on Question 8, on switch 2, issue the command to display the list of VLANs that are configured on the switch. Which VLANs have been configured on switch 2? So issue the commands to display the list of VLANs that are configured on the switch. Which VLANs have been configured on switch 2? We've just done that. Okay. So we can see they have their respective names. Now, question 9, on switch 2, issue the commands necessary to delete VLAN 30. What command or what configuration mode is the device placed into after you issue the command? So it's very simple to delete a VLAN. So you go into global configuration mode, no VLAN 30, okay, and all right, and look, verify that, configure terminal, no VLAN 30, and show VLAN, and have a look. VLAN 30 is now gone. It's all gone. So that's what we did there. Okay, so yeah, we had VLAN 30, that is now gone. That is gone. Okay, so that was a testing VLAN, as you can see. Sorry, in question 8, in the answer, we could see we had a testing VLAN. That is now gone. Okay, so we're in global configuration mode. We hit no VLAN 30. Now we need to be we come out of that, go into privileged exec mode, and it's all gone. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you benefited from it. There will be a part 2 to this coming soon. Thank you very much, and apologize for the delays in producing new videos. But please stay tuned for new videos. Thank you so much for watching and your support. Thank you. Bye.